Hi, this is Dr. Shango Blake, CEO of True SK Consultants, host of the Classroom Hip Hop 101 with yours truly, Dr. Blizzy, and the nation's hip hop principal. I have over 28 years experience of educating students in urban communities, and along with that, I have done extensive research on how to improve urban schools. Here are some tips that you might want to consider. This will help you avoid becoming frustrated teaching your children on a distant learning platform. I call this segment, Teachers Don't Get Frustrated. Take a breath, breathe. It's going to be okay. Avoid implicit bias. Don't prejudge the students. You don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know what they're facing. You don't know what their situation is at home. So check implicit bias at the door. I want to remind you that the equity issues before the pandemic still exist. There are students who don't have computers. There's a digital divide. Students may not be logging in because they don't have the equipment to log in. So don't prejudge them. Check your implicit bias at the door and show empathy when teaching our children. The equity issues that existed before the pandemic are now even greater. What happened before coronavirus? There was environmental racism and there was poverty. So some of the most vulnerable people during this pandemic are the very students many of you are teaching. So show empathy when engaging them because you don't know what they may be going through. The parents and students may be suffering various forms of trauma, loss of job, death, dealing with systems that were hostile to them prior to the coronavirus, having to figure out how they're going to maintain and get their services, figuring out how they're going to get food, how they're going to eat. These are things that are challenging to communities of color and communities of low-income families. So again, empathy is key here. Recognize your own trauma. Some of you may be dealing with the loss of a loved one. Some of you have family members who have the virus. Some of you have family members who are in ICU, yet you still have to teach these classes. So your emotional state is important. And you might have to recognize that you're feeling anger or you're feeling despair. And that might be coming across in your conversations with students and parents. But you can be transparent. You can say to parents, I'm not feeling good today, but I'm still checking in on your child. You can say to a student, I would like for you to be a little bit more patient with me because I'm experiencing trauma as well. You will be surprised how students can identify and empathize with adults when we are going through something as well. Explain to your family what you're doing remotely. They may not understand that you're still actively engaged in teaching. They may see you on the computer and think that you're just doing busy work. So explain to them that you might need a quiet time. You need space. Some of you are in class and you have your own children right next to you as you're teaching. So you might need to say, mommy or daddy needs space so that they can teach this class and I'll get with you in a few minutes. You might have to explain to your spouse, I cannot talk to you right now. Please don't disrupt. This is my class instructional time. Just because you're at home, it does not mean you're not at work. Check in on families. Communicate with them. See how they're doing. You're a leader. The message should be that we will all get through this together. This will build a bond between you and that family. And when we get past this pandemic, that relationship will continue when you're back at the school. So empathy, empathy, empathy. Start every conversation when you call a home and talk to a parent with, how are you doing? If you're talking to a student, how are you? How are the family members? Is everybody healthy? Do you have a computer? Is there anything that you need? Start every conversation with that. Then you can get into the instructional part, but show care first. If you would like more tips and information, go to trueskconsultants.com every Friday, 3 p.m. for a question and answer session. Join our live stream. And thank you.